Hello, this is Scott. Welcome back to Midwestern Reloaders. So today we're going to talk about the basic things you need to get into reloading. And we'll talk about a few different things and some budget things that you can do, and just let you know what you need to get started and do the job properly. So of course the first thing you're going to need is a press. I actually have two presses. I run the RCBS Junior presses because I had both of them given to me. I've been using them for over 10 years. They were used when I got them, and I have had absolutely no issues with them. They perform exactly the way they're supposed to. So you're going to have, like I say, you're going to have a press, which, you bring your ram down, your shell holder goes in, your die goes in the top. We've had Walker do a video that shows how to set up a die properly. So that gave us instruction on how to set a press up. So let's go over the other things that you're going to have. So the first thing you're going to have is some case lube. I have used about every case lube out there, and I really like this unique case lube by Hornady. It doesn't take much. You can see this here. I've had this for a year. That's all I've used out of it, and I load quite a bit. So, it's $10–15 for a jug of this, and it's probably going to last 2 or 3 or 4 years. It's going to last a long time, so that's not expensive. The second thing you're going to need is a case reamer. So this is for reaming out the case when it goes in and takes out the chamfer on the inside and the outside, this here. Now, most kits that you get, if you get a kit, you're going to get this little guy. It works fine. I spent the $30. This is the Lyman. I spent the $30 on this because it's got a lot bigger handle. It's easier to turn. But also, when you open it up, it has the primer pocket cleaners and reamers. It has large and small primers, which they simply go in the end, and you turn it to clean the primer pockets out. These will thread out, and one of these will thread in, and you can do your primer pockets. And this, to me, was well worth the money to spend for a bigger handle, plus the primer pocket cleaners that come with it. It's a very handy tool. Along with this, you're going to have a case trimmer. I use the Lyman AccuTrimmer. It's set up for 308. You simply slide your shell holder in, then you'll slide your brass in, and it's got this wheel and a set screw to where you set to what length you need. You'll clamp it down, put it in, turn it. It trims your case. That's around $30. Guys, if you're getting into loading, and let's just say you get some stuff and you're not able to afford that, Lee makes this nice little tool right here. So this end here can go in your drill. You simply loosen it a little bit, slide your brass in, tighten it up. Like I say, if you have this end in your drill, and this is caliber specific, this is for the 308, it simply slides in and you turn it or spin it with your drill and it trims the case, and your little tip goes in the primer pocket and it stops when it gets to the length that it needs to be. And then you just clean it out, you got your case done. So these are like, I think they're like $9. You know, they're not expensive, and they work well. I just got this because I was just got tired of loosening it, case and drill and all that. To me, it was just a little cumbersome. And I was actually able to pick this up off Amazon for a decent price, and that's what I went with. You're going to need a funnel. Whether it be the one like this. This is a multi-caliber funnel. If you look at, I don't know if you can see that, it has ribs on the inside of it to where, like my 308 case, I can fit right in, and it'll hit one of the ribs. The case mouth will hit one of the ribs, and it seals up against it to where you put your funnel and it doesn't spill over. But on the same hand, I can use 223 in it at the same time, and it does the same thing. $5 or $6. And then I have this funnel, which is for my 308 caliber. 223 won't fit in this one. This is caliber specific. You can get several, you can get one in each caliber, or just get the multi-caliber funnel, whichever one you decide to do. Like I say, these two of them are probably about real close to the same price. This is a Lineman, and this is the RCBS. You're going to need a scale. So I have the RCBS beam scale. I don't have a digital scale. I do everything with this scale. It is a little time consuming sometimes. It's what I have. I seem to just trust it a little more. I also have a powder measurer, which is, anyways, you simply turn it around here so you can see it. So you have this end on it, which you turn the big one does large scale. The small one does little, and you turn it until you get to your charge weight. Then you'll bring your handle up, bring your handle down. It will release the powder, and you just keep measuring it and adjusting it until you get your desired powder. And then you can just work it each time to load a cartridge. Now, the one thing you guys will need to know about this is some powders do not meter well through that. You get your fine powders and you're liable to get more than what you want, and inconsistent loads each time because it's dumping a little extra or a little less. But your coarser powder, like IMR 4895 meters really well. Some like H380, something that's extremely fine, doesn't meter quite as well. You end up getting either a little more or a little less. Usually it's a little more than your desired amount. But let's say you don't get this set exactly right. You get it set, say you're using the fine powder, and you actually set it to where you're getting a little bit lower of a load. That way you're not overdoing it and having to go. That's where something like this comes in handy. Or if you're just doing test loads, you're doing 3 or 4 loads, you don't want to set this up each time for different charge weights. This is called a powder trickler. So you just pour your powder in there and you set it up here, and you'll turn this, and it will very slowly let powder out into your scale so you get your charge weight to close, and then you can just trickle powder in until it comes up to the proper weight. You're going to need a nice set of Allen wrenches. for adjusting things, like if you're using the RCBS dies, and you're going to have a set of dies. This is in 30-06, but you open your dies, you have a 2-die set, 3-die set, even a 4-die set. This is the 2-die set. So this is your full-length resizing and depriming die, which means when you run the cartridge in there, you're resizing it and pushing the primer out at the same time. But when you put these in your press and get them set right to where you want them, they have a little set screw right here that once you get it set exactly where you want it, you can just tighten that down tight, and then when you take these out, all you have to do is thread them back in, and they're locked in right where you had them the last time. So you're definitely going to need, you definitely have to have a set of dies to whatever caliber or calibers that you are planning on loading. A case brush. So this is simply for cleaning the mouth of the case. I do recommend this, guys. I don't worry much about this anymore, as I have a tumbler and I tumble all my brass now. That pretty well cleans the inside of it out. And I do not tumble deprimed incised brass. I always tumble my brass and then deprime and resize afterwards. But it still has the case clean enough to where I don't usually have to brush it. But if I'm in a quick hurry and I don't feel like I don't have time to tumble the brass and I just want to throw a few loads together, I will quick run that brush through and clean the brass, the inside of the brass neck just a little bit, just to makes it the bullet seat a little bit easier. You're going to need a cartridge tray. Now, the nice thing about cartridge trays is this side has my 308s in it, so it's for the larger caliber. But if you simply flip it over, it has the smaller holes, which hold your smaller, like my 223. So, those are handy. They're not expensive, but again, if you get some loading stuff and you just run into a spot where you're just not able to get one, say you're just short, you just don't have the funds available to get one, you don't absolutely have to have it. I started out using my factory ammo cartridge holders. I just fill one up, and as I deprimed and resized, I'd just simply move them from one to the other, and then I'd prime and move back. And I usually had 2 or 3 or 4 of these, so I could do 10, 15, 20 at a time, and just keep moving them back and forth. Something else you're going to want is a primer. Now, you can prime on the press. So on the press, on the RCBS, they have this little lever, and it has a cup on the top of it. One cup is made for a large rifle, one is made for small, and you simply put your cartridge in the press, let the ram come up, put your primer in, close it, and then as you bring it down, it seats the primer into your brass. These also have a tube that hooks into here that holds primers, so that when you bring it up, it automatically puts a primer in, and there you go. It's not a slow process. You can actually prime pretty quick. I just find that tube sticking up in the air in my way. So I actually got this. I got this believe I got this on a Black Friday special at Amazon, and I think I only paid like $20 for it. But it comes with two different pistons inside, one for large rifle, one for small rifle. Your primers go in here, then you'll open this up, let them inside, and you simply put your brass in, primers in, pull the handle, brass is primed. So I feel that this is a more efficient way to do it. Most people that I know that load with a single stage press usually go to one of these. They're just a little faster. You don't have that big stick sticking up off your press and in your way in case you need to move stuff around. Just makes life a little easier. Another very important tool you're going to have is a set of calipers. You can use dial calipers. If you can read dial calipers and you're good with them, go ahead. I prefer the digital just because for me they're a little faster. Because you're going to have to be able to know, how long to size your brass to, and then once you seat your bullet, you need to know what size it is to adjust your die in order to make it that overall length for whatever caliber and bullet choice that you're using. So this is an absolute must. You have to have one of these. They do make some tools that you can buy that you just load and just keep sticking your cartridge in there until you get the specific length that you need. But again, they're caliber and bullet specific. It depends on what weight bullet you are shooting and using to know what length is. So you don't want to have to buy 2 or 3 for each bullet weight plus each caliber. So this is the easiest way to go because and you don't have to get the most expensive set out there. This one I got at Lowe's. I think it was $35. But you can go to Harbor Freight and get one. You don't have to have a super expensive one. Just as long as it is decent quality and you're getting good measurements each time. That's the most important thing. Another thing you're going to have is a manual. Now I have said this is just a few of my manuals. I have several, but I will tell you that my go-to manual is this one. Is my Sierra hardcover manual. Not because I think it has superior load data in it. None of that. It's hardcover. I like that. Number 2, when you open it up, all your pages are nice and laminated. When I load, I tend to have a cup of coffee with me. If I accidentally spill my coffee on this, I just simply take a paper towel, wipe it off. It's good to go. No harm done. If I am using my lineman manual, and just to let you know, I do refer to every one of these. I sometimes double and triple and quadruple check loads just to make sure everything is the same. Do you have to? No, it's just what I do. But this is just regular paper, so if I spill my coffee on this, I've got a big stain on it. And who wants a manual with a bunch of stains in it? It's how it makes it a little harder to read. This is another one of my go-to manuals. I really like this manual. It has a lot of good data in it, and it's hard. It's a hardcover also. But like the Sierra, the pages are laminated. So if you spill on it, I'd say if you left it there for a while, it may soak in. But as long as you get to it quick, it's not going to soak in. You just wipe it off. It's good to go. Uh, another thing about a manual, guys, if you're just getting into loading, you're going to want to open this book to the front. So you open it to the front, and we go from, that's page 24, all the way up to page 74. This whole stack of paper here is all in how to load. It has great information. You're going to learn about bullets, you're going to learn about loading, you're going to learn about presses, how to use them, how to set dies up, how to read your calipers, how to use every tool that's up here, proper charge weight. You're going to learn about burn rates, you're going to learn about your dies, you're going to learn about powders, you're going to learn about your brass and how to look for pressure signs. It's got all that information in there. It's going to have bullet construction, how the bullets are put together. It's going to have their G rating, which is basically drag. It's going to teach you about how each bullet, excuse me, flies through the air and its ballistic coefficiency. How it's constructed, how it flies through the air, the ergonomics of it. If you're using it for hunting, it's going to tell you how those bullets expand. If you're using it for target, it's going to tell you, all that information you need. Plus, it's going to teach you how to load each one of those and all the tools that you need and how to use them. So it's not just a book of, I put this much powder in this cartridge and ram the bullet in and make it this long. No, it has a lot of great useful information that is going to keep you safe and the people around you safe. And pay attention to it. If you read through that book and somebody comes to you and says, well, I load this way, you can try this way, it's a faster way, and you read in your book and it says, don't do that, I'll be honest with you, don't do it. Do it in the safe manner that the material tells you to do, because that's what it's there for. It's to keep you safe. There are several ways to get this equipment. You can buy each piece individually. Actually, when I got my first press, which is the back one, or the front one right here, I got this press, I got this powder measurer, I got this particular reaming tool, I got my brush, I got this funnel, and I got my Lyman manual, and I got a beam scale. Not this beam scale. The scale that I originally got was used, and in one of my moves I broke it. But anyways, I was talking to some people on a reloading site when I was very first getting into loading, and I told the guy that I was talking to, he had a store with used equipment, and he asked me what I needed, and I told him, well, I don't have anything. And he asked me, he said, well, what's your budget? And I said, I don't have much. At the time, I didn't have, I was very strapped for cash. And he said, you know what? He said, just give me your address, and he shipped all this to me. He paid for the shipping, everything, and just gave it to me. You get on some of these loading sites, and in this community, there are a lot of good guys that really want to help you out. If you want to get into this sport, they're going to try their best to do what they can to help you. And that's one thing that I love about this sport, is people are willing to share and to help. You can buy kits. You buy RCBS has a kit. You You actually get the rock chucker press, which is this press, but it's taller. It's a little bit bigger press. You get a powder measurer. You get a scale. I believe you get the digital scale with it. A powder trickler. You get your case reamer and a manual. And they're around $450, $500 for that kit. I will tell you this, RCBS is a great band. They are 100% warranted on everything. If something breaks, as long as it's a warranted part, they will replace it. You just simply call customer service. Customer service with RCBS is great to deal with. They're great people. They'll do whatever they can to help you out. If $500 is a lot, and understandably in today's market, I don't really have $500 to just spend and have to get other stuff also. Another great kit is Lee. Lee has a single stage press kit. I just looked at it on Amazon, and let's see, you get the press, you get a powder measurer, you get a beam scale, a powder trickler, your funnel, you get a hand primer, and you get a set of dies for $166. You do not get a manual with that. But for $160 and you get just about everything you need, it's not bad. And Lee makes some very, very good equipment. They've been in business a long time. And I'll tell you, their customer service is just as good to deal with as RCBS. You pick up the phone, you call. If they're not in, you simply leave a message. They will get back to you. I know I've had to call them a couple times because I use Lee dies. I really like their dies. They're simple, but they work great. Even a manual. Guys, if you can't, you get the Lee kit. Let's say you get a Lee kit, and you buy some powder, and you buy some primers, and you buy some bullets, and you just don't have the money for a manual. It's okay. You go to any powder that Hodgdon makes, you can go on Hodgdon's website and you can go under their rifle loading data, and you simply put in the caliber, you put in your bullet weight, and it will come up and tell you what powders and what charge that you can use of their powders for that particular caliber. There are a few other sites that you can go on that have data on. Now, don't just trust anybody. I do not load anything unless it is printed data. I won't do it. It's just too dangerous. I have some friends of mine that have given me loads, and very good, trustworthy friends. And I've used those loads, but I've always came back and sat down and double checked those loads in the manual to what they gave me, because you know as well as I do, if you're typing it out on a phone or a computer, or if you're even writing it out, it is super simple to accidentally hit the wrong or write down the wrong number, and you could be overcharging or undercharging a load. So even if they give you a load and you're able to look it up on one of the websites to make sure it's a printed data, that it's a safe load to use, then by all means go ahead. But the internet has a whole cycle of many things. I know Sierra, Nosler, Hornady, a lot of those you can go on and look at their some of their load data online. Hornady has a download. You can, I think it's $20. You download the manual on your phone, and the nice thing about that is every time it updates, you've already bought it, so it's free. It updates with you, so you don't have to worry about that. All the new calibers, all the new loads and powders that they have, all update with it. Now, the one thing you will find, like the Nosler and the Sierra manuals. So when you look up in these, you are going to find loads of the bullets that they make. Does that mean it won't work with another bullet? No, it will, as long as that bullet is the same construction. So, if you're looking up E-tip bullets and say you have, the Hornady VMAX, as long as that bullet is the same construction as one of their E-tip bullets, you can use that load data. I would not go to the absolute maximum, and I wouldn't go to the absolute minimum. I would stay a little bit in between, like a medium load, and then they say the best thing to do is back down 10% and then work your way up. And work your way up to a maximum load, and always checking pressure signs. You can do that. It's okay as long as the bullet is the same construction. Well, let's talk about the bullets for a second. I'll show you these. You always keep your eyes out, like this here. My brass. This is 223 brass. It is actually it's range brass. It's once fired brass that the company brought in. They resized, they deprimed, and they annealed it. And I got 250 brass. I shipped, I think it was $18 or $20. I mean, not bad. Just keep your eyes open. These particular bullets. These are my 55 grain Spitzer Point Hornady for my 223. This was what they call an overrun. So what they did is they had certain customers that ordered so many bullets of these, and they ran a bunch more than they should. So in that batch, they had a bunch more bullets than what they needed, so they ended up selling them off at a discounted price just to get rid of them. I bought 2 of these through Grafton Son, and I think shipping and everything, I believe I paid $48 plus. I think I paid $10 shipping. So like $60 for 500 bullets. Not bad. Just keep an eye out for sales. These are 223 bullets. These are from RMR, Rocky Mountain Reloaders. These are the 69 grain boat tail hollow point. I got 250 of them, and I believe shipping and everything, they were like $27. You keep your eyes open, you can find good deals. Go if you have friends that reload. Go to them. A lot of times they will upgrade stuff and just put the other stuff in the back for a backup. Go to them and say, hey man, do you have some components for reloading? I want to get into reloading. Do you have something that you would sell, or even let me use until I'm able to get my own equipment? If they truly want you to get in the sport, they're going to help you out. And it's a great way to learn too, because they'll teach you how to use it. So there are avenues. You can buy used equipment. Unfortunately, right now, the market right now is a lot of the places that sell used equipment, the stuff that you're really looking for is sold out, or it is not much more, excuse me, than buying new. Used equipment, a lot of your used equipment right now is going for a pretty good price. And me personally, if I can get a kit at a pretty decent price, to me it's worth it for the new. That way I know I have the warranty, I can register it and all that, and not have any problems with it. So this is the basic stuff that you're gonna need to reload. So in your kits, you're still gonna have to buy your bullets, you're gonna have to buy your primers, you're gonna have to buy your powders, but check on them too. Look up look up, some powders are more than others. So when you go to your handbook, look at what powders will work for that particular caliber. Now, if you're just starting out in loading, you're not looking for absolute precision at this moment. You're looking at experience of loading. So look at your manuals, look at what powders they print for that particular bullet and that caliber, and get on the internet, look at stores around, see how much powders are going for. If you have to start out with a powder that's a bit cheaper, try it, because you can load up, you can load down, you can make that bullet at least decently accurate. So that gives you experience on loading and taking out and shooting and making test loads and learning how to develop, and it get you some saddle time. And while you're doing that, save up to where you can get a little bit different powders and such, and you'll build up pretty quick. Bullets are another thing. It's funny how all rifles have a personality, just like people. For instance, I have these 110 VMAX for my 308, and let me take that back. I have 150 grain Spitzer points for my 308, and I have 150 grain Sierra Game Kings for my 308, and I shoot a Savage Access Precision 2, or Savage Access 2 precision rifle. And guys, I can load these Sierras, and I can get, at 100 yards, I can get 3/4, 7/8 of an inch group. It's not horrible. It's not horrible by any means. But every powder I've used, every load that I've tested, that's about the best I get with these bullets. Now I turn around with these, and the load that I'm using, I'm getting like 1/4 inch groups. Same grain, same weight, 150 grain. It's just bullet construction, and my rifle likes these better than it does the others. You're going to find that. So you're going to grow a lot with bullets. But just because these don't shoot as well, I'm not going to throw them out, because they are still perfectly adequate for shooting deer. 3/4 to a 7/8, even a 1 inch group or an 1.25 inch group. They're great, and gives me more loading time. A little bit different bullet. Seating depth is actually a little bit different because it's a little bit different construction. So it is, playing around, learning how to load different lengths of different bullets at whatever. So it's all experience, and that's what you're looking for in learning to load, is the experience. And as you do it, your confidence builds, especially when you're working on a load, you do a bunch of test loads, you go out to the range, and let's just say your first group is, let's just say it's 1.5 inches. And you're like, that's not too awful bad, for my first try. You do your second round of test loads with a little bit more powder, and you pull it into 1 inch. And you're like, man, that's pretty neat. And then you do your third set of loads with just a little bit more powder in it, and you work it up until you're shooting 1/2 inch groups. You can look back at it and say, I have learned my rifle likes this bullet, this powder, this much powder. And does it mean every bullet will shoot that way? No. But you now have a reference guide to go back to and load those. So, but anyways, that is your basic components for starting to load. you're gonna pick up a few other things here and there on the way. There's a lot of things I didn't show you because they're not what you need just to start out. But you will pick things up and you will find things that make the job easier. And as far as presses go, they make single stage presses, they make turret presses, they make combination presses where everything all works together. All you got to do is pull the lever and it does every cycle for you. Progressive presses, and guys, stick to your budget. If you are able to go out and buy the large progressive press and do basically a factory work of everything going, every time you pull the lever, a step is being done, great. I mean, that's why they make these products, is to sell them. But if you can't and you're loading on a budget, stick to what you can get. If you have to get the Lee kit, and I would dare say if you got that kit as a single stage press loader, you'll have it for years. It's good quality stuff. If you buy the RCBS presses, my presses are probably 30 years old and they still function perfectly fine. I know guys right now that have the Lee presses that they've had them 20, 30 years, never had a problem with them. As long as you treat them right and not doing things you shouldn't do with them, they're not a hammer, they're going to last you years. And so, me personally, could I get a big progressive press? Sure, I could save up and get it. But I like my single stage press. I come down to my little loading room. This is my little room. I have my music I can turn on. I usually have me a nice big cup of hot coffee, and I can just sit here and load. It's my time all to myself. I can just think, ponder on things and just release frustrations. And to me, it's just fun. It's a great sport to get into. It does cost a little bit to get into it, but once you start loading, it's like an addiction. You have to feed it, and you're going to find a lot of support. You're going to find a lot of these sites that you can go and talk to people. Facebook has several sites you can go on to. There are several other reloading threads that you can get on, and you can ask questions. You can look at what other guys are loading. It's always going to be something in your caliber on there. They'd be telling what they're trying out. And you can share what you're trying. You can share that you're just starting out to reloading, and you're going to have a bunch of guys flock in and ask questions. If you're not sure, look it up. If you don't know where to look, let us know. We'll give you the resources you need to look it up. Because they want you to do it safely. And all these bullet companies, you have Nosler, you have Sierra, you have Hornady, you have Barnes, they all have data centers. And RCBS and Lee and Lyman, all these companies, if you call them and you say, hey, you know what, I bought let's just use Lee for instance. Say, I bought your single stage press kit and I have dies and I'm doing something wrong and I don't know what it is because this is happening or whatever. Give them the thing of what's happening. They're going to talk you through it. They're going to say, okay, you need to try this. Not only that, you go to RCBS website, you go to Lyman, you go to Lee, you go to Dillon. They're all going to have a bunch of how-to videos on their site of how to use their equipment. You're going to be able to watch those to know how to set everything up and do everything safely, because they want you to go home the same way you went to the range, but they also want you to have fun while doing it. They want you to be excited about the sport. They, of course, most importantly, they want you to be safe, and they're going to do that to the best of their capabilities. They're going to give you the information you need to do it and do it safely. And here at Midwestern Reloaders, you can always leave a comment, leave a suggestion, ask a question, shout out to us on the email. If you have a question about loading, ask. If we don't know the answer, we will find it for you or send you in a direction to where you can find it. That's what we're here for. We're not just here to talk about a few things and say, okay, I hope you have a good day, happy trying things up. No, we want you to enjoy this as much as we do. And we really enjoy loading and shooting. We really enjoy talking to other people that load about how they're doing and what they're doing and what kind of results they're getting. And that's what this sport is all about. It's a brotherhood. So get it. If this is what you want to do, get into it. If must, find somebody in your community that loads and just talk to them and say, hey, I hear you load. Can I come over and see what you're doing, to see what it's all about, and check it out for myself to see, number one, what I need, and what I would like to have. If a lot of guys that have progressive presses have the single stage presses too. Most guys do. Even if they're on the shelf somewhere, they're not afraid to pull them down and show them to you. So you may be able to look at it that way and decide what you want or what your budget fits, to where maybe you have to start out on a single stage press and eventually save up for the progressive. Whatever you're wanting to do, there's going to be somebody in your community that's doing it. And you can get up with them and just say, hey, I just want to check it out, see what it's all about, see what I personally want to do and what I can do and what I can afford, and go from there. And guys, let us know how you're doing. It is exciting for us to read your stories. Especially if you're just starting out loading, let's just say you're loading 308 and you load your first one and you take a picture of it and you send it to us and say, look, I loaded my first round. We are going to be just as excited about it as you are, and we're going to let you know. We're going to let you know, man, keep going. Looks great. Once you get some test loads done, you go to the range, let us know how they performed. If something is not looking right, let us know. Take a picture of it, send it to us and say, hey, I think something about this doesn't look right. Can you take a closer look at it and let me know a suggestion? If it's something we can't see, we have some other resources that we can go to and talk to some other people and say, hey, do you see something wrong with this that maybe needs to be corrected? That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. Like I say, drop us a line. If anything, just drop us a hello. Say, hey, hi, or say I've been reloading for years and I have all kinds of information. If you ever need anything, just let us know. Great. We always need somebody else that we can go to for good information and advice. That's always a great thing. Or just to talk to about loading. Say, hey, I'm thinking about trying these out. What do you think? Is it a good combination? Have you ever tried it before? Like I say, it's that brotherhood. So, again, these are just the basic components you need to load. The other thing I forgot to mention is, a lot of libraries are getting manuals now. So, you can always go and photocopy them, or go to a friend that has the manuals and have them photocopy them for you, so you have some printed data. Well, from Midwestern Reloaders, have a great day. And guys, we really look forward to listening to your stories. We are looking forward to listening to and answering any questions that you may have. And we're interested in listening to the success that you've had. And if you are on a budget and you really need help, you want to load and you need help getting into some things, let us know. We have a multitude of people we can reach out to and ask if they have anything, if they would be willing to help. I can't guarantee you that they would or that they'd have what you need, but we are more than willing to try for you. So, guys, have a great day, and most importantly, have fun.